Russian warship drowned. Russian media is total censorship. Everyone is okay. But that's not true. This ship was very important. They distract the attention of ship. They would gain the citizenship of Russia. They want to get these people on their side. So this is a trick for Ukrainians, because now it's a disaster. If Russia loses this war, he's pretty smart, he's clever. He think about the future that only his sons, only his grandsons will see. We don't need the president. Russian president is not of this kind. This is lie. Now just a beginning. This is that I don't like about this country. We have so much lie in Russian media. Ecology of Russia will fall as the economy. Hello guys, it's Alex Gray, and today we'll talk about news, about what happened in the world, what happened around Russia, around Ukraine, in different countries. So let's start with the first news. I know that this is not very new, but Russian warship drowned in the name of Moskva. It's drowned in the Black Sea near the coast of the Ukraine. How did it drown? It drowned because of the two Ukrainian rockets hit this warship right in the middle, in the place where all other shells are, where all shells were. Okay, and these shells exploded, and the whole warship drowned. Not so fast. It drowned about several hours later, maybe even about 1 day. The Russian media said that it happened because of the storm that and this when the ship was moving back to the Russian base, and the storm hit the ship and it's drowned. And they said about explosion, about fire on the warship, but they didn't say that rocket hit, two rockets hit the warship, and a lot of crew drowned with the ship. We don't know how much, because again, Russian media is total censorship, only approved by government. So they only said that government approved. So if they don't want to say that that several hundred of people drowned, they wouldn't. They just said that the crew was rescued and everything is fine, the ship drowned, but everyone is okay. But that's not true. We see that some of the parents of these soldiers that were fighting on this warship, they just lost their sons and have no information about that. So a lot of soldiers just missing out of the ship, and where could they be when the last time they saw them, they were on the ship, and now they're missing, and they were about 25 kilometers from the coast. So where did they get? They drowned with the warship. So we don't know exactly numbers, but we know that 50 was saved, or even 200 was saved, but on the warship was 500 people, and we don't know. We don't have this information, and I don't think that we will have it sometime later. Maybe several years or even 10 years we will have this information, but now, no. Okay, how the ship was drowned, because this ship was very important, and it was the flagman of the Russian water forces, this ship was very important because he could save other ships from the rockets, from planes, from another attacks. It was the it was the defensive ship. So how two missiles got to hit the ship? There were several conditions that was for Ukrainian forces for these rockets to hit the ship. This was a storm, big waves, also raining, and what is most important is that they distract the attention of ship by drone, by Turkish drone, by Raktar. It was flying in the opposite side of the ship, and all of the radars were facing this drone. And with all these conditions, this rocket just hit the ship. It was defenseless in that moment, and they got the ship. It was destroyed. So the country with no water forces, with no ships at all, destroy the biggest, well, not biggest, but very important, very big, the ship of Russian forces. As I remember, the Russian forces has only 2 or 3 this kind of ship. So this was a very big casualty for Russian forces. In Ukraine, Russian occupiers promised to pay compensation in rubles, in Russian currency, for destroying buildings, houses, apartments. So they promised that these people who have this, whose apartment was destroyed, they could pay them in Russian currency, but of course they have to agree that they would gain the citizenship of Russia. They will support this. So this is they want to just not just to give the money for destroying. No, they want to get these people on their side. So they give them rubles. So what could they do with that money? They cannot buy anything in Ukraine. The only thing that they could buy is in Russia. So for this money, they could buy apartment in Russia or a car in Russia or some goods. So they have to move from Ukraine. So this is a trick for Ukrainians. So they should not take this money because it's not a good choice. Better to wait until this war ends, and I think that Russia will pay some compensation for this war if they lose. We don't know the results of this war. We will see, and from that results, we will see what will happen to the Ukraine, because now it's a disaster. A lot of production, a lot of different industries, businesses was destroyed. And what the future of Ukraine do we have? It's a lot of poverty in Ukraine. Will be after war, so they will have to rebuild all these buildings, industries, businesses. So they need a lot of money, and if Russia would not give the money for that, where could they get that? From Ukraine, from Europe, or from USA? But we don't know how much these countries could give to that, to the Ukraine. So, or if Russia loses this war and would promise to give compensation for Ukraine for all these casualties, all this destroying buildings, this will be much better for Ukraine. But of course we cannot see right now what will happen. And I'd like to talk about Ukrainian president. Zelensky is a very good president. I saw the interview with him for 1.5 hours, and he's pretty smart. He's clever. There is a difference between Russian president and Ukrainian president. Ukrainian president want to think for the future, for 10, 20, 50 years. He think about the future that only his sons, only his grandsons will see. So this is the kind of president that must be in every country. We don't need the president that think only about today or several months ahead. No, we should have president that think 10 years ago, decades. Only with that intention, country could grow in economics, in level of life, with better salaries, with better purchasing power of people of this country. And we see that Russian president is not of this kind. He thinks about simple today present facts, that he wants this territory, he wants to be in the history, he wants to feel better, to feel stronger. We don't know the exact intentions of president. He only tells about that he wants to defend this Russian nation that live in Ukraine. But this is a false. This is lie. We know that a lot of Russians lived in Ukraine for a lot of time and with no problems. But after 2014, when the Russia steal Crimea from Ukraine, after that he also wanted to steal these two regions, Lugansk and Donetsk. But he was not success in that moment. He only gained a small piece of that region, and big piece was still in Ukraine. So after he get the Crimea, and the whole world was silent about that. It was not a big sanctions, not big talks about that. No one was aware about Crimea. There was sanctions, but it was not so serious like it is now. We see now that it's very serious sanctions, and Russia will suffer a lot in several months, in half year, or in several years, and we will see that Russia will return in economics. It will return in 5 or even 10 years back, because the economy is falling. We will see that after 1 year. Now just a beginning, and we see that the prices in shops are becoming higher and higher. Prices for everything, for food, for clothes, for cars, for apartments, all the prices are just rising and rising. So I like this president of Ukraine that he thinks about future. He thinks that he should think about projects, big, long projects that will only for the small children that will raise after 20, 30 years, and they will build something. So we don't have this in Russia. We definitely see that they only think about present time, and this is a bad thing. This is that I don't like about this country. And of course about media, about this. I don't have even words about that people that believe Russian media, that the TV, some of them are in internet, in YouTube, but they're telling such lie about fascist, about Nazi that live in Ukraine, that people don't allow to talk in Russian language, that Russians are outcast there in Ukraine. But we have the president in Ukraine that talks in Russian, and he is a Jew. He's not even Ukrainian. How could we talk about Nazi in that country when we have such president like Zelensky who talks in Russian? So this is a lie, the total lie. And we have so much lie in Russian media, in TV, about everything that happened in Russia and around the world. Of course, they talk about USA, about Europe, about this collective West that is guilty of every problem that we have in the country. Of course, they said that that Europe is guilty because we have high prices for food. Is USA guilty? So I should just collect all the lies and tell you about such lie that we have in Russian media. Okay, the next news is about producing cars. We know that there is a exhaust standard about cars, and now it's Euro 5, but because of a lack of equipment, a lot of these microchips, Russia could not produce cars with Euro 5 anymore. And now they just want to approve the law about permission of Euro 2 in Russian cars, in producing of Russian cars. So even less, or even Euro 1 or 0. And what we will have in the end with that news, we will have that ecology of Russia will fall as the economy, and so the Russian people will be more ill, will have illnesses with lungs. The air will be not so clean. So this is not the good news that we have in Russia. We don't have a good news at all in this time. We only see that sanctions, that this will be worse, the prices will be higher, the people will be unemployed. We know that the unemployment in Russia will raise in this year or in several years. Right now it's about 6%, but Russian media says that it will be about 8%. But the real information is about 10 or even 12% unemployment in Russia. And this is very big numbers. These numbers is in a lot of African countries. So how people will survive? Where will they get the money for food, for paying bills? We don't know. It will be 2 or even from 2 to 5 million unemployment people. So this is not a good numbers at all. We will see what will happen. So stay with me, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and goodbye.